Okay, you guys, we're going to get going here with the topic. We've been talking about this in the group, but I wanted to talk about on it here so we can have a nice discussion on it. And we're going to be talking about why perfectionism can hold you back. And as usual, I usually talk about topics that have affected me or are affecting me or something that I hear a lot in the group. And I can tell you honestly that this is something that has affected me. Hi, Lydia. Good to see you. Yeah, so hi, Janet. Good to see you too. I'll say hi as you guys come on. So yeah, perfectionism. I just want to say for anybody new, my name is Lita, and I am totally passionate about keto and all things about how we can heal our body naturally, but I am not a doctor. So please take anything I say. This is not as doctor's advice. I am just here giving my opinion, and we're having a discussion. So you do you. Okay, so let's talk about perfectionism. I think you guys can probably relate to this. Losing weight is not just the mechanisms and the mechanics for most of us, right? For most of us, there is a huge emotional connection to losing weight. If it was just as easy as calories in, calories out, following some macros or whatever, we'd be done. We'd be done. We wouldn't regain. We'd be exactly where we were and we'd never have to do this again. But that is not true. We know that. So I'm going to ask you guys some questions and you guys pop in the comments here your answers and I'll go back and read them after. Do you feel like you need to eat perfectly or you have failed? Is it an all or nothing for you? Like you're all in with the diet, with the eating plan, or you're all out? If you go off, if you decide to go off, do you go off? Do you know what I'm saying? Throw on the gas on the wagon, light the match. Is it like that? Are you either moving forward or moving backwards? No happy medium there. If you could say yes to any of the things I just said, then you may have a problem with perfectionism, even if you don't think of yourself as being someone who feels like they have to be perfect, because it's not what people think. Like I think there's a misconception out there that people think, oh, well, if I had perfectionism, my hair would be perfect every day, my makeup would be perfect every day, my clothes would be, absolutely gorgeous, and my house would be spotless. Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. Perfectionism comes in lots of different ways, and most of the time, it stops us in our tracks from moving forward. I can tell you for me, I have really had this problem for most of my life. And to be honest, still struggle with it today. It's something that I really have to work on all the time, especially when it comes to my eating. I will tell you, Lita's 3 steps to every time I go off keto, every time I go off my favored eating lifestyle plan. These are my 3 steps. Step 1, if I can't do it perfectly, why bother? Step 2, I didn't stick to my one and done. And just FYI, in case someone is new here, what I call one and done is one bite, one thing, one meal, one weekend, one vacation, whatever the one is. I didn't stick to that and I kept on going. Step 3, my blood sugar rises, my hunger and cravings rise, and the binge eating begins. So I don't know if you guys can relate to any of those steps, but I can tell you 100% that that's what happens to me before I go off, which is why I came up with the one and done. I honestly came up with it for myself because I was so tired of not being able to have that one thing, feeling so bad about myself and just staying off. And so I came up with it and I just said, why can't I just have that one bite of dessert or one dessert or the one meal, or the one thing that I'm having? Why isn't okay? Why isn't it okay for me just to have that thing and then to go right back onto my lifestyle plan. It's like somehow I wanted to punish myself, like, well, you didn't do it perfectly, so you might as well go off. Or, well, you've already gone off like this much. You may as well really make it count, right? Like that kind of thing. That was the talk that I had in my head. Do you guys ever feel like this? I'm going to go back and I'm going to read some of the stuff that you guys said. Hi, Christina. Hi, Yvonne. Hey, James. James, when I go off, I fall off a cliff. Yeah, totally get you. Yvonne, no, sorry, I'm running on the wrong one. Carmen, I failed, but I pressed reset and start again. Fantastic. That's exactly what we want to do. Christina, I was like that in the past. I've eaten bad part of the day, so I would eat the rest of the day non-keto. I don't feel that way anymore since doing the 21-day challenge. That's great. And that is what we're doing in the group, is our 21-day consistency challenge. And I'm so glad that that is helping you with that. That is one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this challenge. Lydia, phew, I'm not perfect. Weekends are bad for me. You know what, Lydia? There are so many different ways that people can still have a healthy lifestyle. And it doesn't mean that you have to do it 7 days a week, honestly. And it doesn't mean that you have to feel bad about yourself for whatever you do on the weekend. I mean, it probably is a good thing if you kind of, don't go so bad on the weekend, mostly because then the next week, how fast are you going to be able to get back on again? But allowing yourself to have a little bit more freedom on the weekends or one day. I have to admit that I used to be like Monday to Friday, on point totally, and then weekends slightly free for all, kind of. And it didn't really work for me because I found it like it raised my blood sugar too much, and it made it really difficult to get back on track the next week. And so you just have to find that happy medium that is going to give you the balance that you're looking for, so that you feel like you're a little bit more free when you're in your social time, but you can still really hit it hard in the other times, because let's face it, you're trying to reach a goal. I'm sure that there's a goal that you want to get to for your health, weight loss, or whatever. So it's just finding that balance for yourself, but nothing is off the table. Nothing is wrong. It's whatever works for you, right? It actually drives me crazy when I hear like the keto experts, and I know they're coming from a place of expertise, right? Like they're like, well, if you have to do it this way and you have to be 100% on point and you can't veer off or whatever. And in theory and on paper, that sounds awesome. Like that sounds really awesome. But in reality, we have things. We have social things. We have emotions. We enjoy social eating. I mean, let's face it, I hate to say it, but eating and drinking or whatever is part of our social life. And we should be able to enjoy that. So it really is just finding the happy medium that's working for you. And if you really are not seeing results, then you just have to be honest with yourself and say, what do I need to change in order to see results? And I guess that's where you have that talk with yourself and say, what's more important, having more of the social time or seeing the results? And that's just everyone has to have their own conversation with themselves on that one. But I found that when I did the step 1, step 2, step 3 to go off keto, it was really hard for me to rein it in after that. Like the longer I let it go, the harder it was. And when I came up with the one and done, it really has made a big difference. Like I said, I still struggle with it, but I feel like I'm getting a lot better, to the point where when we are out for dinner or something like that, and say, hubby's got fries or a dessert or whatever, it's like I tell myself, it's okay. You can have that one bite of his carrot cake, or you can have 1 or 2 of his fries. It doesn't mean that you have just ruined everything in the day. The odds are good I'm not even over my macros. And I mean, I'm saying like if I want it. I mean, I'm not like purposely trying to go off or anything. But if I feel like I kind of want it, I just have it. And every time I do that and I don't go off after that, I am proving to myself that I can do this. I am proving to myself that I don't have to be an all or nothing person. I can just have a little bit of this and get right back on my normal lifestyle. It makes me feel, it gives me a lot of confidence. It gives me, I just feel good about myself. I don't know if you guys do this, if you purposely try to do a one and done, not purposely try to have a one and done, but when you have a one and done and you successfully go right back onto keto, do you feel really good about yourself after? Like, hey, I did this. I didn't binge after. I didn't go, all or nothing. I had my little thing. I enjoyed it. Don't feel guilty about it. And now I'm back on. I want to hear what you guys have to say about this. James, my cheat meal turns into a cheat day and sometimes a cheat week. That's exactly it. That was my go-to. I'm not saying it's never my go-to now. It still happens sometimes. But the more that I've been working on this, the easier it is for me not to do that anymore. Janet, when I was new to keto and before keto, I was really hard on myself, but I'm a lot better now. If I go off, I go straight back on and I don't beat myself up about it. That's fantastic. Honestly, isn't that just such a relief, Janet? Just not to have that burden on yourself. Like, God, we got enough crap stuff happening, that things we probably can legitimately feel guilty about or whatever. This is not something that we should be feeling guilty about whatsoever. Carmen, I used to be an all or none, but the happiness factor is important to me. Totally. The happiness factor is everything. We have to do what makes us happy. And I know you're an amazing cook, Carmen, and you love to cook for your family. And that is super, super important to you. So I'm sure you do like to have a little of the one and done of that delicious food that you make for your family. Christina, since I've been tracking my food, I find it easier to stay on keto so I don't have to look up food in my app to include it. It's difficult at times to find specific food, or I have to enter it. Then I put on even eating that food. Takes too much energy to search and enter the food. Yeah, exactly, right? Make it super easy for yourself and just have it, pre-entered and stuff. I really enjoy that too. I make it easy for myself that way. And I also make it easy for myself by, I don't have to get like super creative all the time. I don't have to have like, an amazing breakfast, an amazing lunch, an amazing dinner. Well, first of all, I make it really easy on myself and I don't even have breakfast. I just have my fatty coffee. But then even for lunch, sometimes I just want to breeze through lunch and I'll either have like, I should drink some more of this before I go out tonight. My anti-aging drink, or I just have a fatty coffee, or maybe I don't even have anything. It really depends on what I'm doing and what I'm trying to achieve that week and how I'm feeling and what's going on. But by not having anything complicated, then it's just like dinner. It's just making dinner, and that's the only thing you have to come up with. That is so freeing when I realize that I don't have to come up with like something amazing all day long, right? Sorry if you guys are just new to this. I'm trying to get in my anti-aging drink because I'm going out for dinner tonight and I want to make good choices and I want to make sure that I get the drink in anyways for health, but I just want to make sure that I'm not going even the tiniest little bit hungry, because all of a sudden, do you ever notice that you have this great resolve and you say you're going to go to the restaurant and you're, I looked ahead at the menu and I know what I'm going to have and everything. And you walk in there and you go, and you look around and everyone's got a drink in their hand and they got appetizers on the table and all this good food. And all of a sudden you're like, nah. So I feel like if I get my anti-aging drink in and I get a bunch of water in, I walk in feeling really good. And it's just so much easier for me to make good choices. So I will show you really quick what I'm having, but even if you just have a normal protein shake, but I love this one. This is my anti-aging drink, my bone broth, my MCT powder, and my collagen peptides. I call it anti-aging because it's super great for your skin, hair, and nails, and it's really good for your gut, and it gives you lots of protein, and it's just amazing. Lots of people in here drink it, I know. Janet, yes, it's a relief not feeling guilty anymore. Just so nice, right? Just so nice just to take that burden off of ourselves. And I look at it like I said, there are times when we really want to hit it hard, right? We have something and nothing is going to stop us. Like it's like, you've got this wedding coming up or you've got this function coming up and nothing is going to stop you. And that is awesome. If you want to be perfect in your eating during that time because you're really trying to make gains, I think that's fantastic. What I'm talking about when I say perfectionism, it's in the other times. It's in the times that you do want to have a little something. Maybe you feel like you just want to participate in what's going on, or you're having a little craving or a want for what's on or whatever. And it's not feeling bad about yourself, for even thinking about it. Because that's the other thing. Keto is our lifestyle. It's not our religion. This is not something that we have to be like, oh, I got to be, 100% all the time or whatever. You don't have to be, not at all. And so just allowing ourselves not to feel like we've blown it, not to feel like we have to be perfect. Enjoy that one bite or that one thing or that one meal, etc. Just enjoy it. But knowing, like feeling not guilty, I'm going to tell you right now, it is the guilt coupled with, like I said, I gave you 3 steps, right? It's the guilt coupled with allowing it to go on a little bit longer than it should, bringing up those cravings, bringing up the blood sugar, combined together, that usually creates a binge, usually creates a veering off that is hard to come back to. If you can take away the guilt, if you don't go too long, and everyone's different. I know people that go away on 2-week vacation and they just let her fly and they come back and go, yeah, right back onto keto. That's awesome for you. I'm not that person. I'm not that person that could do that and come back to it so easily. I have to rein it in a little bit more than that, or else I'm going to have problems. But everybody knows what their balance is. I know James has talked about it before in the group. He knows how far he can go, and then it's just going to go too far if he goes too off. So that's what you just have to think about for yourself. But the first and foremost is taking away that guilt. Don't feel like you've ruined anything just because you're not 100% all the time. Allow yourself to have that little thing and get right back on. That's why the one and done, I should patent it. I'm sure someone else has said it before. I had never heard it before, but the one and done is really, if you think about it, it is just the easiest way to get yourself back on and still enjoy whatever it is that you're doing. And maybe the one is a day. Maybe you're at a wedding and you've decided that day you're just going to enjoy whatever comes along with not thinking about anything, without having that restriction on yourself. And that is totally fine. Say in your mind before that day, I promise myself that I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm not going to feel guilty. And tomorrow, first thing, no matter what, back into it, just back into my normal routine. Not going to allow one day to turn into a week. Say those things to yourself, and I promise you things will change. It's when I started doing these things that things really started to change for me. So if there's anything else that you guys want to say, I'm just like scrolling through here to see if I missed anything. I just really wanted to talk about this because I hear so many times people saying in the group that they feel so bad because of this, or they feel so bad because of that. And I feel so sad because I know how that would feel. And I know how many times it set me back just having those feelings. And it makes me so happy that now I'm hearing more people say, yeah, I had, like when we have our Friday night confessions, which is totally fun. People say, yeah, I went out and I had my blah, 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 but it was a one and done. I enjoyed it. No guilt whatsoever. Back on it today. Nothing makes me happier than to hear that, because that's healthy. That is a healthy lifestyle that we can sustain. That is going to help us get us to our goal and to stay at our goal. That's really what I would love for everyone. And like I said, I'm still working on it. There are some times when it's a little harder than others, but I keep these things in my mind, and it really has helped me a lot. The guilt thing is just, I don't know. I don't know if it's more of a woman thing or not. I don't know, but we ladies just love to feel guilty about our stuff, I think. And I think we put way more pressure on ourselves than really we need to, right? Because I think we do really well. I think we're doing a really great job. A lot of the people that are in this chat right now, I know are doing the 21-day consistency challenge, and they're doing amazing. And so why do we need to feel bad about ourselves? We should just be like, we should be looking in the mirror and saying, you're awesome. You're doing so good. That's really all we should be saying. There's no reason to be hard on ourselves. Janet, it's a Friday or Saturday when I go off, right? I hear you. And you know what? When I don't have anything going on, when I don't have anything social, anything big or whatever, I do try to toe the line, because I think to myself, there is going to be something coming up pretty soon, and I am going to want to participate a little bit more. So I don't necessarily just say every weekend is my freebie or my time to have a one and done. I take it situationally. So that way, when the opportunity presents itself and I want to participate in that way, I do. But I'm still making really good gains because let's face it, if you go off too much, then things are probably going to stall. And that's a little bit disappointing too. It really kind of depends on where you're at too. Like I have times in the year where I'm really happy to maintain. That's always my goal for the summertime is to maintain. Unfortunately, this summer went a little bit more than I had anticipated, but that's usually my goal for the summer. I don't have any lofty goals for the summer because we're at the lake a lot, we entertain a lot, and I just know that that's going to be tough. And so I try just my goal is really just to maintain. But then there's other times when I really want to hit it hard. Like I really want to, do really well and I want to see some progress or whatever. So you just have to do what works for you. Janelle, I can see you. I'm here, but I don't think I can comment because I didn't sign up for StreamYard, but I thought I would try anyways. I'll be curious if you see this. Janelle, I can see this, but now I'm looking on here. It's okay. It's totally okay. So you know what I do, Janelle? If I look ahead straight on my computer here, that's StreamYard. It's in nice big bold print and I can see it nicely. But what I also do is I put on my iPad, and on my iPad, Facebook is stupid, so weird, but Facebook doesn't always like to be friendly with other apps. And so StreamYard, I can only see here, which I can't see your name, but if I look down here, I can see your name. So anyways, don't worry. You can always comment and I will see it in one place or the other. That's why I go off on tangents all the time because I'm looking over there, I'm looking at my notes, looking at the iPad, and I'm talking to you guys. But anyway, you guys get my point. I know you totally understand what I'm talking about. I've heard you guys talk about it many times in the group. And my overall message to you is please don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't do it. It only sets you back. And we want to be positive about things. But on the other hand, we also don't want to go off too far because that's not going to help us either because then it's going to be harder to get back on. Not from a guilt perspective, just from a mechanics setback, right? If our blood sugar is too high and the cravings are coming back, I find like if I have grains is not a good food group for me. I've mentioned that many times, but once in a while, and I find like every time I have those damn grains, besides my joints feeling horrible and achy, it's almost like I got this weird carb hangover and I feel like crap the next day. And I have these unbelievable cravings and just kind of blood sugar things that is totally different for me than if I didn't have any grains. So let's give an example. Let's say I had ice cream. Let's say I had regular sugar ice cream. I would not feel as crappy the next day going off on some ice cream than I would if I had, say, like cake or something. But anyways, I digress. That's just me. Everybody's different and your tolerance level is different, but just knowing what it is. Another one, wine. If I have wine, I feel like absolute crap the next day. But if I have vodka or tequila, looking good. So I feel totally fine the next day. I can literally get drunk on those things and I feel fine the next day, but I have like one glass of red wine and it's awful. So anyway, know yourself, know how you're going to feel. So it's kind of like whatever you're having, how is it going to affect you the next day so that you can get right back on plan? So maybe you alter kind of how you go off so it's not quite as bad for the next day, right? Because you don't want to go on for too long. Anyway, okay, so that's it. That's my message. I'm going to finish gulping down the rest of my anti-aging drink and I'm going to be getting ready to go out for dinner. So I hope you guys have an awesome night. Let's keep up the talk in the group. Yes, Lydia, Lori, and I are very much the same that way. Only she gives into it a little bit more than I do. I have said no to red wine for many, many years because I literally can't take it anymore. But she has amnesia when it comes to that sometimes. So anyway, okay, you guys have a really nice evening and I will talk to you in the group. Okay, take care. Bye. Hey guys, before you go, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified every time we have a new video posted. Also, down in the description, I will have links to everything that we talked about in our chat today, including information on how you can join my Intentionally Bare Keto support group. See you next time.